Hey Pilates people, my name is Jessica. Welcome to Connect and Move. I have for you today a reformer flow, no box needed. You will need a mini ball or Pilates ball, whatever you want to call it. You won't need it for the first move, so just have it nearby. We're going to start with 2 mediums and a light. So for balanced body, that is 2 reds and a blue. And if you have a yellow spring, right, you could use that as well. All right, so meaning for your light spring. So you're gonna have a seat facing the back end of your reformer, and you're gonna start pretty close up to the shoulder blocks. It's gonna feel very scrunched up. The spring is gonna feel heavy also, but I want you to feel supported. So you're gonna choke up onto the strap, so like above the hardware here, and my arms are just gonna stay straight. I'm gonna lift up out of the crown of my head, take a big expansive breath in, and then on your exhale, start to curl the pelvis back and then just start to roll back, right? Use this heavy resistance to get a stretch in the back, stretch in the shoulders, go all the way back. And if you're comfortable with it, allow that chest to roll open, let the head fall back, just be mindful of your hair and the springs. Take a big breath in here. And then as you exhale, nod your chin and slowly peel the spine all the way up. Like allow the shoulders to shrug up into the ears. Like just make this feel good. Big breath in here at the top. And then on your exhale, kind of push into the feet, feel the pelvis curl under and just roll back. Roll back. Maybe you allow that back to arch a little bit as your head goes back, like a good morning stretch. And then exhale, soften the sternum, roll yourself all the way up. Let's do that one more time. Slowly. Let the head fall if that's for you. Puff up the chest, then sink the ribs down and just roll yourself all the way up, up, up. Alrighty, go and hang up your straps. We're gonna now turn around, come lying on your back. You will need to grab your ball. You're gonna place it in between your ankles. All right, so you of course are gonna honor your body throughout this session, right? Think of me as just your guide through movement, all right? This is all about you. So let's go all 10 toes on. You've got like a tiny turnout, so you really feel this hug of the ankles into the ball. And then when you're here, just feel the arms stretch down and into the mat, your tailbones sink heavy, those collarbones pull apart. And then on your next inhale, you're gonna press the carriage out, really working this hug of the thigh bones in, and then bend the knees, come all the way home. Inhale, press the carriage out, and then think of getting taller as you come home. The arms, the upper back, they're just doing a constant chest expansion into the mat. Every toe pad is connected here, and you're just holding that natural arch in the small of your back. Let's do 3. Pull yourself in, and 2. Find the back of your legs here on the way in. Last one here. Drag it all the way in. All right, let's come on to the arches, still with the ball there. Feel this kind of pull down on the foot bar here. So it almost feels like you're kind of squeezing the back of the knees a bit. And now press the carriage out on that inhale. And then as you exhale, you pull yourself home. It almost feels like your hips want to lift, right? But you're trying to keep that tailbone heavy. Downward energy into the arms, almost like you had straps in your hands. And those ankles are hugging in on the ball. Let's do 3. And 2. And last one here, pull it all the way in. All right, let's come on to the heels, but we're gonna switch the ball now. Place it in between your bunions, right? So imagine you had bunions. If you don't, right, it's gonna go kind of in between your big toes. Heels come on. Now, without letting the knees like come together, right, they stay parallel. Think of those big toes just slightly pulling in towards one another. Pull your pinky toes back. Yep, just let it rattle around there, and then go ahead and press the carriage out on that inhale, and then just pause here, right? Keep breathing. I guess I should have told you that. And then just look up at your feet and see, are they doing anything funky? Are my big toes kind of pulling in, pinky toes pulling back? And then bend the knees, come all the way home. And I don't know about you, but I felt my inner thighs kick on more when I asked you those questions. Our feet are connected to just about everything else. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, bring the carriage in halfway. Again, check that ball, you're still hugging in, little pulses out an inch and in an inch. Relax the neck, your ribs are bolted to the mat, or they're trying anyways. Think of this as a push-pull with your seat and the back of your legs. You have 3 and 2 and 1. You go all the way out and then resist to come all the way home. I don't know about you, but I felt my feet and my shins big time. So ball goes back to between the ankles again. Let's go arches on. Press the carriage out halfway here. And it's that push-pull, little just out an inch and in an inch. Feel the toes reach up and over, heels reach down and under for 3 and 2 and 1. You go all the way out, pull it all the way in, come onto those toes. Find just that tiny little turn out here, and then bring the carriage out halfway, and you do those little pulses here. For this one, lift those heels up super high and feel equal weight into your toe pads. You got 3 and 2 and 1. You go all the way out here. Keep the hug in on the ball. Start to lower the heels down and under and pause. Actively flex your feet. So really think about them driving past the foot bar here, and then lift the heels up. You lower, 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 hug in on the ball still, and then lift back up. A lot of times when we lower, we kind of roll out and those heels pull apart. Think of that pubic bone pointing at your toes. So we're holding still this stable pelvis and spine. Let's do 2. Relax your neck. And then last one here. Now I want you to bring the carriage in halfway. Carriage stays quiet. You're going to lower the heels and then lift the heels. Lower and lift. Keep squeezing in on that ball. We've got 3. Go full range with those ankles. And 2 and 1. Now press the carriage all the way out and then pull yourself all the way in. Fabulous. All right, let's take the ball kind of in between the shins now, kind of in between the calves and the shins. Make sure your headrest is all the way down, and you're going to go arches on here, hip socket distance. So again, feel the entire inside of your leg hug in towards that ball. Take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, give me a little tuck of the hips, little hover of your tailbone off the mat. So right now my ribs are still bolted to the mat, and I'm just finding this tiny little hover, and you're just holding. Can you pull that carriage in just a little bit more? Really working the back of the legs, right? Our bridges don't have to be crazy high here. And then just melt those last couple vertebrae down. You want to make things harder on yourself, you can reach the arms up to the ceiling, all right? So again, give me that little tuck of the hips. You're going to pause here and think of there being a bunch of mini magic circles between your legs. And you're just going to hold 2, 3, and then just roll back down. Now, if you're good there, you stay there, all right? Otherwise, maybe you could lift up a little bit higher, all right? Let's try that again. Go ahead and roll the hips up, lift the hips, find the top of your bridge today. Think of those toes reaching up and over the foot bar. Find those mini magic circles and just pause. Get that pubic bone higher than your 2 hip points. Ooh, feel that work, and then just lengthen all the way down. Fully release the tailbone at the bottom. Again, roll the hips under, peel the spine up, and pause. Relax the neck here. And now, can you keep all these arrows of energy and just press the carriage out and then pull the carriage in. Inhale to press out. Exhale, deepen the work and the hug in as you bring the carriage in. Think of your pelvis as kind of like a pendulum, right? It's gonna lower naturally as you go out, but think of it rising up and over as you come in. Keep the hug in on the ball here. Can you reach the toes over your foot bar just a hair more? Are you feeling things with me? I'm feeling things. Let's do 3 and 2. And the last one, pull it all the way into the stopper and then lengthen all the way down. Alrighty. Just straighten the legs out over the foot bar. Keep the ball where it's at. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. Take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, you're going to roll yourself up. Do what you got to do to get up there. Take the ball just down for a second and either grab onto the foot bar, your legs, and just pull yourself forward. And then maybe do a little point and flex, or flex and a point, whichever. All right, from here, let's come to one light spring. So I'm going to take my 2 reds, my 2 mediums off. I'm going to drop my foot bar all the way down, okay? So lie back on your back here. Now you're on a really light spring, so please be careful. You're going to place the ball underneath your tailbone. A little bit harder with the foot bar down, I know, so do what you got to do here. So ball is underneath your tailbone, or kind of like your upper butt crack area. Feel that it's centered. Arms are going to be weighted down into the mat. Start to draw your ribs and your low back down into that negative space. Bring your right leg up into tabletop. Bring your left leg up to meet it and just pause. Here's your moment, right, where just make sure the ball is centered. You're not going to roll off. And give your pelvis just a little bit of a tuck under, like you were trying to imprint your low back into the mat. Now from here, zipping those legs up together, can you raise your right arm up to the ceiling and then lower it down? Raise your left arm up to the ceiling and then down. Continue with this alternating. Otherwise, if you need, or you can do both arms up and down. Just play around here. This is just a nice way of letting your body know that you're on an unstable surface. So you kind of need all those little muscles to kick on. So from here, you want to make things more challenging. Arms can stay up, they can be hovering, or they can be down, right, for more support. So from here, keep the ribs drawing down towards the mat. Pull your right knee in towards your ears. Your left leg shoots out long and away. Now, can you lower that leg so far down to where you feel a stretch on the top of that hip, and then switch legs? And if you're not tight there, right, you might not feel a stretch. And switch. But right, the challenge is, can you hold the stability in your spine and your pelvis as the legs are moving through space? Let the inner thighs kiss each other as they pass. You've got 2. Neck is long. Last one here. Bring both knees into your chest. Find a little Pilates V here. Exhale out all of your breath with your knees pulling in towards your shoulders. And then inhale, shoot the legs out long and pause. Just hold it there. Keep sinking the ribs as your legs maybe lower down just 1 more inch. And then exhale, bend all the way back in. Inhale, shoot the legs out long. Reach across the room. And exhale, come all the way back in. Now continue to do this. There's a little extra challenge here with this blue spring. My carriage is kind of rattling around a little bit, and it's kind of letting me know that I'm losing some control, that I need to slow down. So just a little extra challenge is, how stable can you keep the carriage, your spine, all the other things while your legs move in space? Now hold the legs out there at that working angle. Find parallel here. Lift your left leg up as your right leg reaches down and away. And then scissor switch. Oh, carriage just moved. And switch. Just lets you know that you're losing control and you're probably using a little bit of momentum. And switch. And if you're extra tight, maybe you flex your feet on these. Work that pull of the pinky toes back. Remember, arms can still be up here. Ooh. Those of you who are doing that, props to you. A little extra wobbly. Let's do 2. And 1. Now bring both legs zipped up together at the top. Point out through the toes. Right leg is going to lower down as your left leg pulls back towards your face. You're going to windmill the legs out to the side. Big leg circle. Now my right leg is up, left leg is down. Zip the legs up together at the top. Right leg pulls back, left leg lowers down. Windmill the legs out to the side. Find that inner thigh stretch. And then zip the legs up together. Right leg down, left leg pulls back. Try to keep those legs so straight, you're going to get a deeper stretch here. And it is a very intentional pushing of the legs wide. You might feel your cheeks kick on a little bit, the inner thigh stretch deepen, but also some leg action. I can feel my legs big time right now. And up. Last one here. Reach them around and up. Zip the legs up together. Bend the knees in. Yeah, and take a moment. Okay. So carefully take that ball out from underneath your seat. And then we're going to place it in between the knees. Headrest can come back up here if you had it up. Ball goes in between the knees. You're going to reach back for your right short strap, right? So a little bit of unilateral work here today. So your left arm, it can stay down. It can mimic what the right arm is doing. It's whatever makes your brain happy. So legs come up into tabletop. You're going to find just a hug in on the ball. Tailbone is heavy. You can either be an imprint or neutral. Either way, you're going to hold that spinal shape, all right? So with a strong, straight arm, pull the arm all the way down towards your hip and pause here. Find a strong chest expansion feeling with your arms, and then float that right arm back up. I'm just going to cue the right arm, right? Again, if you want to match with the left arm, you're more than welcome. But with the resistance coming from the one side, it's very tempting for your body to want to shift all around. So as you're doing this, can you get the weight equal into your hips, in your upper back, your ribs, your shoulders? So there's a lot of oblique sling happening stuff here. Now lower the arm all the way down. Feel that the fist is reaching past the hip to create space in your neck. Elbow just stays super glued into the mat. You're going to bend that elbow and then straighten the arm. Keep hugging in on that ball. This is all about, right, shoulder girdle stability, this little tricep press. Let's do 2. And last one here. Now, if it's available, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. See that you're level in your pelvis. I'm fighting for it. And then straighten your legs out to wherever you can, and then bend the knees back in. Shoot the legs out long, and then bend the knees in. Keep reaching into that strap. Reach out long, and then in. Reach out long, and in. Head lowers down, arms come up. All right, got a whole nother side to do. I am feeling these inner thighs with this ball. All right, so left arm is up. Wrap your fists around. Float the legs back up into tabletop. Squeeze in on that ball. Lower the arm down. Find equal weight into your hips, back, all the things, and then float the arm back up. Finds that pinky wrapping around the strap just as much as your index finger here. And remember, whatever shape of the spine you're picking today, you're holding it strong. Now lower the arm all the way down. Even as the elbow bends this time, you're still thinking of it reaching to your hip and then back out. You're just bending and straightening the elbow. Strong, straight wrists here. Right, just gives you a little extra grip strength. Work. Let's do 2. And last one here. If it's available, you curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. See that your waistline is even. Send both legs out long and away, and then bend the knees in. Send the legs out and away, and bend the knees in.
Reach. Ooh, my legs are going off to the side here. How are you doing? Let's do 2 more. Keep reaching into those straps, imaginary strap. Last one, pull the knees all the way in, lower down, arm come back up. All right, go ahead and hang up that strap. Let's roll you up. And then we're gonna stay on this blue spring. We're gonna do some standing lunges, because I don't know about you, but I need a hip flexor stretch. Let's do it. So, standing, you still need your ball. Right foot up against your shoulder block. When you're here, I want both of your thighs to be in line with one another to start, okay? Go ahead and grab that ball, find balance. Your left leg, standing leg, is super glued up to the side of the carriage, so that way you're more hip socket distance apart here. So let's start with the ball into your chest, and you're pressing in on the ball. Think of kind of squeezing your chest muscles. Now, as you press the carriage back and you go into your lunge, can you reach the arms forward, still keeping that press in? And then you pull it in as the carriage comes in. Try to get that back leg straight so you can really feel the stretch on the top of that right thigh. And then pull it in. And back in. Now when you go out into your lunge, just hold here for a second. Think of your right leg getting longer, but pick that right hip up to your ribs just a bit more. And I'm hoping that just deepens that stretch, and then bring it all the way in. You go out and in. This time, if you'd like, when you go out, hinge forward and lift the arms up, and then it comes all the way back in, you stand up, right? So a little bit more of a hinge forward, arms lift up, think biceps to the ears, and then come all the way back in. Tripod connection down through that standing foot, and back in. Standing leg's working hard, right? Back leg is too. Last one here, like this anyways. Now you're gonna keep the ball at your chest, keep squeezing into it. You're gonna lunge back. Stay a little bit more upright this time, and just twist your upper body to the left. Oh, that right thigh stretch is so nice. And then come back to center. We're just gonna hold it in the lunge. We're gonna twist to the left. Glue that left leg to the carriage. Don't let it come out with you. And then back to center. Neckline stays long and to center. You're still pushing back through that right heel and to center. Last one here. Come back to center, bring the carriage all the way in. All right, so we're gonna add in some extension flexion here. We're only gonna do 5 though. Help me count. All right, lift the arms up to the ceiling. You're gonna press the carriage out. Find a baby back bend. And then as you bring the carriage in, you're gonna round into your spine, reach the ball down, keep a soft bend in your knee. Press the carriage out. Feel your chest, your heart lift, and then round into your spine. Carriage comes in. And again, oof, we're on 3. I can't believe I kept that count. And then drag it back in. 2 more. Open up that front body and back in. Last one here. Let's see if I can remember this all on the other side. And back in. All right, let's do the other side. Let's do it, let's do it. All right, right foot, right leg up against the carriage. Make sure your thighs are in line with one another. Right toes pointing forward, very important. All right, so from here, you squeeze in on that ball. Arms go straight as you lunge back, and then pull it back in. And remember, you're trying to pick this left hip up. So a lot of times the hip wants to sag, right? There's a lot of stomach work here to assist with the hip. And I apologize, I've lost the ball connection. I've just got a mirror in front of me I'm just looking at. You make these as big as you want to. All right, now we're gonna add in that forward hinge. Think biceps up to the ears if that's available, and then you come all the way back in. Biceps to the ears, reach, and then come all the way back in. How you doing? Second side's always worse, right? Because it was already working on the other side.
Anybody else's knees creaking? Wouldn't that be funny if my microphone picked that up? All right, so now you're gonna come down into that lunge, all right? Elbows are bent, squeezing in onto the ball. The lower half doesn't move. Twist your body to the right and then back to center. You go to the right and back to center. It's super important to keep the squeeze on the ball, right? It just helps you twist your whole upper body. Maybe you go a little bit lower into that lunge. Hang in there. Ooh, how's that standing leg doing? Let's do 2. Last one here. Come back to center, come all the way up. Oh yeah, all right. Reach the arms up and overhead. You're gonna lunge back. Find that tiny baby back bend and then round into yourself, bring the carriage in. Remember the soft bend to the standing knee. You lift up, rise up, and back in. Yes, there's work, but I want you to find just some good stretchy feeling here. I think we have 2. And round into yourself in. Last one. As you round, lift the ribs up like mountain climbers. All right. Take that foot down. Shaky, shaky it out. All right. We're gonna place another spring on, a medium spring. So for me, I've got a red and a blue. Keep your ball nearby. We're not going to use it for this next bit. It's just close by. Legs are going to be through the shoulder blocks. And if that doesn't work for you, you can have them onto the sides. All right. So I want you to reach down for the long straps here. And of course, if you need more tension, you choke up. Right. Remember, this is your class. This is all about you. So let's start sitting up tall. Cross the legs if you need, and then feel the legs hug in, but also press down towards the mat. All right, you're gonna sit up uncomfortably tall, strong punch out through your fist. You're gonna drag the knuckles down towards the floor, and then pause here. It's a heavy spring. Notice I'm not going like crazy past my hips, and then slowly release the arms. Reach the knuckles down to the floor, chest opens and lifts, and then slowly release. So you're trying to create as much space between ears and shoulders as you possibly can, just like we did when we were on our back. All right, now press the arms down and back and just pause. Just, hold, lift taller, get the legs straighter, and then slowly release. Now when you're here, I want you to kind of round forward, get a little stretch, and then as you start to press the arms back, you're gonna start to stack your spine up tall, find a baby back bend here, and then start to round into yourself. Arms reach forward, stretch out that work that you just did, and then drag the arms down and back, stack your spine up tall, find a baby back bend, and then round forward. Now stack your spine up tall, flip your palms facing up. In fact, uncross, recross the legs if they're cross. Legs are still active here. Start to roll yourself back. Find your half roll back here. Palms are facing up to the ceiling. Bicep curl the fists in towards your shoulders, pause. Make sure those elbows are lifted and they haven't sagged down. Keep them at that lift as the arms slowly extend out. Punch the fists up and over to your shoulders and then slowly resist out. So yes, this is bicep curl, this is stomach work, but it's also shoulder stability work. So, right, shoulders aren't going all over the place. Upper back stays pretty stable when you're up against this heavy resistance. Think pubic bone up to the sky. Now we're gonna combo these couple moves, all right? So go ahead and bicep curl in. Let the arms go straight, stack your spine up tall, turn the palms facing back behind you, finds that chest opening, little baby back bend, and now start to round into yourself, round back, turn the palms facing up, bicep curl. Arms go straight, stack your spine up tall, press the arms back, open up the chest, and right into it. Just kind of flow, move, feel free to use a little bit of momentum here. Yes, there's work, but I want you to find something that feels good. Let's do 2 more. Think of opening up that wingspan when you go back for that chest expansion. Last one here, and just round forward. I hope you felt some things. Alrighty, so we're gonna take off the light spring, still on the medium. So for me, that's a red spring. I want you to now take the ball in between your knees and then scoot back a little bit to where your legs aren't crazy. They're not like at a 90-degree bend, or maybe just a little bit more. Do your best with that one. So let's hold on to the short loops. Feel free to adjust on these, all right? So just have the arms reaching out in front of you. You've got a good squeeze in on that ball. And then from here, just roll yourself back without your calves jamming into those shoulder blocks like mine are. Roll yourself back to that half roll back, and then just roll yourself back up, up, up. Again, roll yourself back, and then come all the way up. The straps are just here to assist you to go back to a place, right, where maybe you couldn't get out of it. Last one like this. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling those arms, holding them up here. Now I want you to go to that half roll back and pause here. Keeping the hug in on the ball, can you straighten your right leg out? That right leg is not gonna move. You're gonna try not to, right? You're gonna roll yourself up. Maybe not all the way, and then go back. All right, you go up, make that leg longer. Keep reaching it further across the room, and then up. Feel like you're trying to like chest lift up and over your stomach here. Let's do 2. How you doing? And last one here. Go back halfway, place the foot down. Left leg comes up. We go up. Don't let the leg move. And then back down. Keep the squeeze in on the ball. How those arms doing? I'm feeling a little fiery. All right, you're trying to get that low back into the mat, and then it's the last thing to leave the mat as the chest comes up. Roll yourself back. Think chest up, ribs back. You got 2 more in you? You do, you do. Whew. This is 2. Last one here. On your way up, place that foot down, hang up the straps. Whew. Shake out the arms. Shake it out. Shake it out. Let's do it. Okay, so I know, inner thighs today. We're gonna get an inner thigh stretch after all this. I want you to come now kneeling. Kneeling with the ball in between your knees. Your left shin is up against the shoulder block. At least that's where I'm at for today, facing the camera. So I've got this hug in on the ball. My tailbone is long and my pubic bone is forward, all right? I'm gonna reach down. You can either grab onto the long loop or the short loop. Make sure that you have adjusted it down to a light spring. So I've taken my medium spring off, going down to a light spring, okay? So find that inner thigh connection here. The shins are pressing down. Now lift that arm up into some resistance. That palm is facing into you and the arm is in my peripheral, okay? So from here, without the shoulders lifting up into the ears, can you just start to raise the arm up a little bit and then pull it back down? So notice, I'm not going all the way straight. I'm kind of imagining this idea that my arm is connected to my back and then up. So it almost feels like that shoulder blade is kind of reaching around and then coming up. And I'm staying square here. Let's do 2. Keep the hug in on the ball. And then last one here. All right. So now right hand comes on, a left hand onto your left hip. Staying square, I'm gonna row the elbow out to the side, pause. The elbow where it's at right now, can you keep it there as you now straighten the arm out? Feel that arm kind of stick into the back, arm stays straight, you cross the body. Remember, you can adjust your springs, all right? Elbow goes out, it stays there. Then the arm goes out, and then you slowly resist. Try to keep this strong grip with your fists. And you limit the range if you need, all right? The reason for keeping that elbow still out there, shoulder girdle work, because if it doesn't, oh, almost lost my train of thought there, right? We lose that connection to the upper back. Last one here. How you feeling? Good. and then slowly cross the body. Let's do the other side. Okay, shins, press them down, hug in with that ball. Right arm now comes up, left hand on your hip. Find this kind of sandwiching between two panes of glass. And then pause here. Again, feel that shoulder blade kind of pull away from your spine, and then try to punch the arm up and then down. All right, so if you want to take a look at your screen here for a second, this, right, isn't what we want to see, right? We don't want to see the shoulder into the ear. We already got neck stuff. A lot of us, right, we live in our neck. We're trying to train our shoulders and our arm right now to move from the correct place. How you doing? I know it can be frustrating doing these tiny movements. Hang in there with me. Good. Last one here. Pull the arm down, left hand on. Go ahead and switch sides. Square yourself off. Elbow out to the side. You pause. Then the arm goes out. You slowly cross the body. Just like most things in Pilates, right? Or really any movement. It's not about the thing that's moving. It's about the thing that's not moving. Check your neck. All the things. I'm having to do it myself. Crown of the head is reaching up to the ceiling. Ribs are in. Pubic bone is forward. All body all the time. That's why you see most of my workouts are just full body. So you got one more in you. Elbow goes out, punch out, and then slowly release all the way back down. All right, go ahead and hang up that strap. We're gonna switch now to one medium spring. Take that light spring off, one medium spring. Let's now take the ball, just place it off to the side, and then let's get set up for planking. So you're gonna place your toes up onto your platform here. Now I'm gonna do mine on forearms. Some people like to do it on their hands, right? Please, 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 you pick, all right? So if you're on your forearms, I want you to find equal weight from your hand to your elbow, okay? So from here, find that slight protraction, meaning your sternum, your chest lifts up away from the floor and the shoulder blades pull apart. Find it, keep it, lift the knees up, press the carriage all the way out to that plank. No matter where the legs are at, they are strong. Heels are pushing back. Gaze is slightly in front of you. Find that equal weight into your forearms, right? All the way from fist to elbow. Just holding strong. Now start to slide the carriage away and then pull the carriage back in. Slide it away and pull it in. Inhale out, exhale, pull it in. You got it. Legs are not moving. They're just steady working at that static place. You've got 3 and 2. Last one here, pull it in, bend the knees, come all the way home. Before we do our next set, take your hands up onto the shoulder blocks. Reach your right arm under, so thread that needle as your left elbow bends. And then reach your right arm up to the ceiling. Try to go for that big twist. One more here. Right arm goes under. And then right arm comes up. Right arm down. Left arm, thread the needle. You're trying to get the shoulder to the mat, but right shoulder blocks, they get in the way. Left arm goes up. Left arm down or under. And then back to center. All right, let's come back to your plank position. Just a little intermission. My body was screaming for it. All right, so find your shoulder girdle activated. Lift the knees up, press the carriage out. From here, try to keep the carriage relatively stable. Dip your hips over to the right and then come back to center. Dip the hips over to the left, pivot on the feet and back to center. It's a little hip twist. Inhale over, exhale back to center. Inhale over, exhale back to center. Feel those obliques kick on a little bit. Ooh, it's got a little chiropractor adjustment there. Let's do 2. Last one, and back to center. Awesome. Okay, let's foot bar up. Another medium spring. So we have 2 medium springs. Where's our ball? Grab your ball, Stand on the carriage, hands come onto the foot bar for elephant, okay? So if you're super flexy, feet will come back to the shoulder blocks. For like me, a little tighter, feet will be somewhere in this kind of back third region. Place the ball between the ankles, calves, somewhere in there. And I want you to kind of walk the feet in so you really get like this good squeeze on the ball and a tripod connection down through your feet. All right, hands are about shoulder width distance on the bar. Let your head drop and round into your spine. Drive down through the inner edges of your heels to really feel those inner thighs. Now from here, you're gonna stay rounded. Press the carriage back and then pull it in. Inhale, press the carriage back. Exhale, pull it in. All right, as you're doing this, you stay rounded. The arms, they're pulling apart on that bar so the neckline stays long. And make sure the inner edges of your heels stay down as you go out and in. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling major seat, major inner thigh connection, maybe because we've done all of that today. Let's do 3 and 2 and last one here. Awesome, okay? So let's take the ball away. You're gonna come kneeling on your carriage for a little down stretch. So drive your feet or your heels back to the blocks as best you can, even if they're not touching, okay? Hands back onto that foot bar. Roll the pelvis through and up. Find your extension here. So find a little external rotation of those upper arm bones. Hug the inner thighs together, right? They should be very activated by now. Keep the extension. Press the carriage back. And then pull the carriage in. Lift, lift, lift that chest. Inhale presses you out. Exhale, lift, lift, lift. Your tailbone stays long. Your lower half is just doing a big old bridge right now. Inhale out. Exhale, pull and lift you up. You've got 2. And last one here. Come all the way in. Nod your chin and just round and sit back into your hips and just kind of sway back and forth or rock back and forth. All right, so we are gonna take off one of those springs. So we're still on a medium spring. Ball goes into the headrest. You're gonna lie on your side. So for me to face the camera, I'm on my left side. And the ball is just gonna be like a nice little pillow. All right, so bottom knee is bent, just kind of tucked in towards you. And your top foot is gonna go into the long loop. We've done so much inner thighs, I thought, let's do some outer hips. Okie dokie. So we won't be here long, I promise, because it's not my favorite. All right, so press the carriage out or your leg out and just hold here. I want you to feel like this leg is growing so long that you feel your waistline elongate. Maybe like your side belly, your ribs kind of just float up or lighten on the mat. You're gonna keep that. Sweep the leg forward a little bit and then sweep it back. Hand can be on the hip, it can be on the mat. It's whatever makes you comfortable. Think of this as like a straight leg deadlift. So all the work is just right here, or right most of it. And your stomach is working hard to hold your spine stable. Last one like this. Sweep the leg around, like to back where it's in line with your body. And now imagine that foot is up against a wall, right? You're gonna glide the foot up the wall and then down. All right, so it's gotta get longer as it goes up and down. It's not my favorite, it's not, guys. So if you're feeling this and kind of cussing, just cuss with me. Just do it. Relax the neck. We've got 3. Why 3? And 2. And 1. Now hold that leg at hip height. Bend the knee in and drive the leg back out. Bend the knee in, drive the leg back out. Everything else stays stable. Right hip is drawing down towards the floor. Let's do 2. And 1. Bend the knee all the way in. Lower the foot down. I told you, short and sweet. That's all we need, right? Other side. Try to get your shoulders stacked and comfortable. All right. Hips are stacked. A lot of times we want to roll back, so maybe think about rolling your top hip forward a bit here. Find your length in your waist and in your leg. You sweep the leg forward and then sweep it back. Feel that it's your butt crease, the back of your leg doing this motion. And I know a lot of teachers, a lot of people will cue like a point and flex. I mean, if it feels natural, right, do it. That's fine. I'm not being super picky on it today. Think of those left toes as like scraping the side walls of your room right now. Ooh, I just felt my legs shake a little bit. Let's do 2. And 1. Now pause here again. Check your body, check all your boxes, flex that foot. You glide it up the wall and down. Up the wall and down. So you're trying to keep the carriage quiet. Unless you're like just super flexy, which I'm jealous. Keep pushing into that strap. Hang in there with me. You got 3 and 2 and 1. Come down to hip height, bend the knee in, and then kick that door down, drive it out. Bend the knee in, and then drive it out through that heel. Just like your footwork, find the inner edge of your heel here. Drive it out, 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 and then bend it back in. Let's do 3. Why is it always 3? I don't know, but it is. We got 2. And last one here, drive it out, bend the knee all the way in, lower that heavy leg down. Okay, take the strap off, hang it up, ball, we're done. We're done. Go ahead and lie on your back. We are still on that 1 medium spring. You're gonna take the strap, the right strap, and let's go left foot. Let's do that. So first, I want you to press the leg out a little bit and get your right ankle over your left knee. So just starting or keeping your left leg straight, right? Your tailbone is heavy here. Let that left leg kind of glide up a little bit. Maybe you push into that right knee. And then if this is already a good enough stretch, you stay here. Otherwise, bend your left knee. And I'm hoping that deepens the stretch a bit more. Now, something else you can do is you can kind of like rock this shape back and forth a little bit. See if you need to, if there's a deeper, better stretch. Breathe into those tight, sticky spots. This was fun today. We should do it again sometime. And then from here, straighten your left leg up. Place your right foot onto the floor. Just be mindful of the springs. Now let that spring pull that left leg further up and back. The right foot that's on the floor, think of that foot coming underneath the carriage and firmly plant your heel down. Now, what I'm trying to get you to find here is a thigh stretch and then a back of the leg stretch here. You can hold on to the rope if you want something deeper. And then if you'd like, you can do a gentle cross of the body. So like this leg could just drift over to the right a little bit. You can hold on to that shoulder block and just breathe. Now, as this leg is crossing the body, I want you to think about your right knee kind of pulling in towards your midline. And then take the leg the other way. Now, if you need to, you can kind of take the opposite foot and kind of hook it around the frame of the carriage. That might deepen the inner thigh stretch. And just breathe, breathe, breathe. Carefully bring that leg back to center. Okay, other side. Left strap, right foot, left foot onto the floor. Right, oh, that's right. No, we got to do that figure 4 stretch. How quickly I forget. Bent knee, straight leg. Feel like the right hip, or the left hip is reaching away from your ribs.
Especially if it's tight, it's gonna wanna like kind of retract back up into your body. All right, you are of course more than welcome to stay here in this stretch, or you can straighten your right leg up, left foot comes down. You're trying to connect the whole foot to the floor as your right leg goes straight. And if you're not feeling a stretch in the left thigh, think of just like gently tucking the pelvis, like the low back could touch the mat here, and that might change the sensation here. So you're gonna cross the body with that right leg if you're there, and breathe. And on this side, think of rolling the foot in a little bit, so like the pinky toe kind of reaches up and away, and that might deepen the stretch down the side of the leg. And then take the leg the other way for your inner thigh stretch. I really do appreciate you being here, and if you're here to the end of the video, I appreciate it. I hope you felt things and you had fun and you laughed with me. I hope to see you again. Awesome work.